Hello and welcome to the Futro Hidden Movie Gems podcast. I'm your host, Ty Christensen. We're joined with Jordan Christensen.
Lord, please give me one more.
And we're joined with Cameron Mickle.
I met someone yesterday. I'm going to marry her. Goodness, does she know that? Well, not yet, but she's about to.
And we've got Grant Mickle.
Howdy.
Howdy. We are discussing Hacksaw Ridge. And I'm pulling it up right now. This movie came out in 2016. It was directed by Mel Gibson.
My boy Mel, dude.
My boy Mel. I wouldn't call him my boy.
I love him. I love him. Everything he does, dude. It's like he touches it and turns to pure gold. Are you kidding me?
How about his comments toward blacks and Jews?
Ty, we're past that. I mean, can't you forgive people?
Oh, yeah, we've already forgiven. Yeah. I'm all about forgiveness.
How many years is it?
That's why I don't care about the politics
people
behind the
change.
scenes, Ty. I just watch the product, and I don't care.
Yeah, dude. And he makes amazing products.
Yes,
dude.
you can be a horrible person and make amazing stuff.
It's
Who
okay.
cares?
Yeah, I'm okay with that, man.
Apocalypto.
We all think Walt Disney creations are wonderful, right? So I'm okay with that. You know, nothing is pure as the driven snow. I'm just putting it that way.
Dude, he says he's going to make a sequel to Passion of the Christ. Holy crap.
I never saw that. Don't think I ever will.
No, but I'm excited for The Atonement because it's going to be about his resurrection. That'd be dope.
Oh, very interesting. Well, let's get into this movie. What was it like watching it the first time and rewatching? Well, I guess we should do the plot synopsis. It's kind of important to know.
Sure.
So we're reviewing Hacksaw Ridge. Oh, and it stars Andrew Garfield, Richard Pryor, Jacob Warner, Milo Gibson. Wonder if any
My other boy,
there.
Vince Vaughn. Yeah.
Darcy Bryce, Roman Guerrero, James Luckton, Hugo Weaving, by the way, Rachel Griffiths, yeah, Tyler Copen. Yeah, I don't even know where Vince Vaughn. He's not even mentioned here, dude.
Well, no, you need to look it at your phone.
It's like
No, they put him at the top on the computer. For some reason, it doesn't. I'm not even kidding, Ty. It doesn't.
Yeah,
Like
it gives me all
you
the
said on
weirdest-
Lord of the Rings, you're like, Frodo is. I guess he wasn't paid as much. Actually, on IMDb on your phone, he's the top paid actor of Fellowship of the Ring. By the way, so look at your phone. Stop looking at the computer.
So much aggression.
Okay.
Wow.
I know.
Yeah,
I'm
geez,
sorry.
tell me how to do my
with
job.
a movie about
okay?
peace
Yeah.
and love. Jordan wants to
Yeah.
do what he did to what Hacksaw did, or what's his name, Andrew Garfield did earlier in the show to his brother with the brick.
No, the problem is I'm editing John Wick right now, and you were really mean to me about my glasses and my hair and everything else. So I'm like,
Oh, did I hurt your feelings, you poor baby?
a little bit.
What was it like watching it the first time and rewatching it for the podcast? Cameron, how about you, man?
Oh, fetching this movie is the best thing I've ever seen in my life. Oh my gosh, this movie has everything, dude. It has romance, bromance, action, war, and an amazing message. This movie literally is just like, mwah. I forgot how freaking good this movie is. The first time I ever watched it, I don't know. It was funny because Jordan's like, oh yeah, it's very similar to what do you call it? Saving Private Ryan, and I had just watched that like pretty recently for the first time when I was watching Hacksaw, and then just like the first hour and 15 minutes, there's not even like a single gunshot. I'm like, what the fudge am I watching, dude? This is not Saving Private Ryan. But I mean, and then as soon as the second half picks up, holy cow, the second half of that film is absolutely fantastic. And then rewatching it for the pod, holy cow, I just realized how much even better of a show it is. It went up from like number 18 on my list to like 14. It was funny because I was telling myself, I'm just going to skip over the first half because the first half is just like the background and his love story. And then I caught myself like enjoying that part almost more than the second half. I'm like, dude, times have changed. I'm like, now blood and guts are as important to me. I'm like, romance is fucking amazing. But yeah, just rewatching for the pod made me realize, I don't know, just how good of a performance Andrew Garfield did. It's just overall just such a fun movie to watch.
All right. How about you, Grant? What was it like watching this movie for the first time and rewatching it for the podcast?
I don't remember exactly when the first time it was I watched it, but I rewatched it recently with my roommates. But every time I've seen it, even the first time, I just absolutely loved it. It's such a good movie. And I've always had like a special place in my heart for like World War II type stuff because like I grew up playing like Medal of Honor on the PSP and stuff, and so I've always loved like World War II type stuff, and just like the American like like patriotism that like boils up in you when you just like, you know, have the context of World War II. You just love killing Nazis and killing Japs, you know.
gosh,
and so I
Grant.
just like just
No
in that
dancing around the
context, like,
bush.
not
Holy
nowadays.
I just wish we could go back to it.
Yeah, no, but I don't know. So it's just such a good war movie. It just shows like how brutal war is, and it's so cool that it just comes from the perspective of this guy who's like, you know, willing to stick to his beliefs and not pick up a gun to shoot anyone because he wants, like, I love it. He's like the world's already a terrible place, you know. He's like, I want to be like a little bit of a light, you know. And so I just think it's so cool. Just
I won't
like,
pick up a gun, but I will bicycle kick a grenade to your face. So, quick question there. Maybe that'll come into nitpicks, but I have a few questions about that.
Yeah, I don't know, but so I don't know. He's just so cool. It just the combination of a war movie with a great message. And
We're not getting into
involving
likes
God.
yet, Chip. It's just what it was like watching it. You always do this.
I'm sorry, it's amazing. It's too good.
Hey, you interrupted a really good thought that he had.
Now I'll get into it more, but yeah, I love it.
All right. I watched this movie probably around 2016, 2017 when it came out, and I remember liking it. I think it was good, focusing on a story about a Seventh-day Adventist that wasn't willing to pick up arms and goes into the military but still wants to serve his country. I enjoyed the story, and I forgot a lot about the specifics, so rewatching it again was good last night. I enjoyed this movie. I think it's a really good character study, you know, basically dealing with in times of war. Is there a way that, well, again, it's like, can you peacefully serve and still perform a good function and help people in a lot of ways? And he did. Like, the sacrifice that Andrew Garfield's character goes under, and I should probably use his real name because it's based on a true story, but he plays Desmond, and Desmond Doss is this guy that saved like over 75 lives up on this ridge, and, you know, a lot of those people would have otherwise died. So I think it's a really good story. I think it's an incredible when you find out that it's a true story, and it does serve its purpose. And stylistically speaking, I mentioned this once earlier in a podcast talking about this movie, and each movie has like a war scene or some way in which they depict war. I thought this was interesting that this one started off with a jump scare. I haven't seen that. I'm sure it's happened before, like obviously a gun firing go off, but like D-Day was Saving Private Ryan. The Deer Hunter kind of just starts with a crazy jump cut. Full Metal Jacket is like this long sequence of psychomatic traumatic, you know, disorder or whatever, the traumatic
PTSD.
murder. PTSD. Thank you. And murder of the sergeant or lieutenant. So this is a really interesting way where it was like, we're going to expose you to this horror, and it actually did it through a means of a jump scare. And I thought that was interesting. I mean, it was a creative choice, and you know, the guy rises up off of the ground, you know, like a freaking zombie. So I thought that was a good choice. Just, again, shocks the senses, and something I hadn't seen before. So I enjoyed those two things about it. Jordan, how about you?
I don't honestly remember the first time seeing this. I just remember loving it. I don't remember when it was. I might have rented it from Redbox or something. I just was so happy Mel Gibson was back into Hollywood, because I know he had been, obviously did some stuff he shouldn't have, and so now, but I'm glad he's back, because I love The Beaver. I know Ty doesn't love it, but I think it's really fun.
No, the movie's fine. I just like it always makes me think like, oh, poor Mel Gibson, man. That guy's lost his marbles.
He's always lost his marbles. You know that after watching Conspiracy Theory.
Yeah.
Mad Max, any of his films. So
Right.
He's
always been unhinged.
I just think he's the greatest writer ever. I mean, South Park couldn't have said it better. They're like, say what you will about Mel Gibson, but gosh dang it, he knows how to write a good story. And it's so true. Like, he might be completely insane, but I just love his writing. I think
He's flying.
I think he knows how to make a compelling story. I was thinking about that today, rewatching it, just how amazing he is. That's all I was thinking the whole time, is how good he is at just making you love the characters, like just the little interactions between each other. And I'll get more into it on my favorite things, but I just want to say I cried so much rewatching it for this podcast because it's amazing.
All right. So I pretty much shared what my two favorite things were. So let's get right into Cameron. How about you? What would you say your two favorite things from this film are?
Dude, it's so fucking hard to narrow it down to. Oh my gosh. I think one thing that I really loved is just kind of, I just love how there's like kind of a background and slash like explanation kind of for everything in his character arc. I kind of love how, but I love how it doesn't give you like all of it at the same time. It also doesn't explain like, there's only like the only one that it truly explains is like why he doesn't pick up a gun is because he, like pulled it on his dad because his dad was like trying to murder his mom after beating her, and then like he's like I wanted to like kill him and I did it in my mind. And then also just I love because you see the aha moment of when he's like the guy's like you might have just saved this man's life, and you just kind of see how the wheels start turning like, wow, I can be like used for good and like saving people's lives, and just kind of how it shows all of his character development of like why he is the way that he is. And then I don't know, I think my second thing is just like Andrew Garfield's performance like combined almost with Private Dawes' just overall character. It's just so amazing of like a person to be willing to stand up for like what he believes. I think like the part that I wanted to slap his wife was when she was like, "You're being prideful." I was like, "Oh, like he's like, you think he's being prideful doing this?" And like I was expecting him to be like, "You call this pride?" Like when he's like punching the wall. But then he was just like, am I being prideful? Like he was so humble that like even her like questioning him was like he was still like humble enough to be like, maybe I am doing this like for the wrong reasons or whatever. But he's like, but I can't live with myself if I change how I am. And I really thought it was really cool how like his interaction with everybody and how he was just like very real with everyone. People were like, everyone in the second half of the film was just, I've never been so wrong about a person in my life, and like hopefully you can forgive me. And just how he was just always there for them regardless of whether or not they had his back, like when they beat him up, and then he doesn't snitch and rat out anybody. I'm like, oof, man, that takes a bigger man to be able to do that.
Or fear, because the moment you point and say, it was him, the next night, just wait till they get bars of soap in their socks and they start whipping you with it, dude.
I don't know, though. I mean,
Just
he
saying.
could have easily just pointed out who it was and then left. He could have just screwed all of them over and then dipped out. But he was like, no, I'm going to suck it up and then not, like, I'm just going to keep going.
Look at you, Cameron. Look at you. You're so wonderful, Cameron. Take an example from Andrew Garfield and his good example. We should all become 7-day admins.
Except I know that Cameron's a snitch because he snitched me out many times growing up.
I never snitched all growing up until I was 13 years old, and I freaking told Mom everything because I had bruises inside of my eyes. Freaking psychopath. Yeah,
Bruises
that's what,
inside of your eyes.
And my peripheral vision, it hurt every time I looked at my peripheral vision. So
I'm sorry if my favorite movie was 28 Days Later.
Yeah, if there's one thing that this show reminded me of, it was my childhood. Jordan
did
tried
Jordan
to take a brick to
shove
my
his
head.
thumbs in your...
No, he would do this.
Did
He
Jordan
would push
shove
in like
his
this and
thumbs
scrape
in your...
across. And then it gave me bruises in the back of my eyes to where if I would look like that side to side, it hurt. And so I told Mom, and she was like, wait, why? Did you...
I was pretending. I wasn't actually squeezing into his eyes.
And yet it damaged his eyes. Yeah. Yikes.
I was pretending.
Cameron, it's okay. Jordan thinks that spraying Windex in your eyes is playful fun. That's what he did when I was a kid. So
No, my favorite was making you guys eat grass. I would plug your nose, and then you'd have to breathe and just jam the grass into your mouth.
Yeah.
That was a funny one.
I remember that and the stinky, sweaty socks when you'd come in from mowing the
Hey,
lawn.
I never hit you with a rock like this brother in this movie, okay?
Good job, Jordan. You never tried to take
was
my
a-
life.
solid brick. Yeah.
when that's the bar minimum
Tried to
bar
murder
for
him. Then
older
you see
brother.
the Lord's Prayer right on the steeple.
Oh man.
A little dramatic in my opinion, but maybe it wasn't. Just the idea that like right after he hits his brother. Wait, I don't want to get into
Really?
nitpicks.
I got emotional at that part. I thought it was powerful.
It was good. It just thematically speaking, it's like, did I believe that he had that? I don't know. I almost think like a talk with his dad could have been just as emotional, but his dad was kind of a loser for the most part. But then he gets redeemed at the end. It's good. Or halfway through. So Grant, what are your two favorite things?
I love the connection that he has with like his like not cellmates. I don't know what his like battalion. Or whatever.
This isn't Brawl in Cell Block 99, Grant.
No, I know.
He's at boot
We're
camp?
talking about
Yes, I know. His comrades
fellow
or whatever.
In prison?
soldiers, fellow soldiers.
Shut up. Just
Cellmate.
lay off my back, okay? So the people in his group, his comrades, and like a lot of them hated on him because of like, you know, his beliefs and stuff, and they're just like, dude, you're crazy, like, and they kind of seem justified in their opinions. They're kind of like, dude, like, if you're not gonna have my back, if you're not gonna have a gun, like, I don't want you out there, you know, like, you're just gonna get in the way, and it's like, we're gonna have to be the ones to save you, you know. It's like we're risking our lives already. And
Very
so
valid
it was just
concern.
cool to see, like, yeah, exactly. And so it's like, it's very cool to see them find this huge bond and connection with him, like, especially that one dude, like, on the battlefield, just like totally protects him, and he's just the coolest guy, you know. And their connection is so cool. And
The
I don't know,
orphan
it's
boy.
just, I love the connections between them. I love how
Quick question about that guy. Does he end up dying? I couldn't figure that out, because I know he said he was dead, but then they like
I
brought
believe
his
him to be
body
dead.
down.
they dragged him back
And I
to
was
the
like, did he
thing,
survive? But
yeah,
he just saved his
he
body
dragged him
because
back,
it meant
but he's like,
wanted to,
dude,
bury
he's like,
him.
there's no, he's like, give him morphine. He's like, dude, he's gone. And then so they just took his body
but
back.
then his body was down. Okay, yeah, I figured that. Okay.
Yeah. But I also love just like how it can have such a good message about God, like, and still be a war movie, like, because it's so true. It's like war or just very traumatic things either turns people away from God or brings them closer, you know. And I just thought, I love the part when everyone was like, we know it's your Sabbath day, but like, no one's gonna go up without, you know, you praying for us and without you going up there with us. I thought that was so cool, you know, just like showing how much of a hero he was for how much they hated him in the beginning. Was just
We're
so
waiting
cool.
on Sergeant Doss. Who is Sergeant Doss? I love that.
We're waiting
scene.
for him to finish his prayer. That was so awesome, dude. I love that part.
Was he a sergeant? I thought he was Private Doss.
Or Private Doss.
Yeah,
Yeah,
private or whatever.
Dude,
Yeah.
such a freaking baller.
You just don't refer to him as sir. Sir is for useless people.
I love her.
Yeah, it's super
All
funny.
right, Jordan, how about
Wait,
your two
wait,
favorite
wait,
things?
real quick. One other thing.
No, Jordan, go ahead.
No, that's three. That's do you know how to count?
I know,
sorry.
I know,
Great.
but
Do you know
one
how to
other
count?
thing.
No, cheating.
Oh, frick, what was I gonna say?
I'll give you a bonus one. Just say it really quick.
You forgot. Yes.
I already forgot.
God made him
Yeah,
forget.
just go ahead.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Very good. Very good. Jordan, your two favorite things.
Obviously, my favorite two things are Mel Gibson's writing and Vince Vaughn.
Yep.
Dude, Vince Vaughn is my hero. And the best part is Vince Vaughn and Mel Gibson are actually friends in real life. And so that makes sense that he would cast him in the movie and to give him that role. And their playful banter, just everything he says to the soldiers, I think is pure gold.
Playful banter.
Yeah.
I just- I-
as playful.
I
banter.
wanted to record like his entire. No, I meant him and Mel Gibson on set, like, you know, kind of poking fun at each other. Because yeah, obviously he's a drill sergeant. He's just drilling these poor kids. But I wanted to write down quotes, but like everything he said was just hilarious. I'm like, oh my gosh, Private Cornstalk, private parts, like all the nicknames he gives to everybody.
Ghoul.
Hey, I want to hear your war cry, boy. It's just like, he's like, I'm not an Indian. He's like, I can't hear you. What did you say?
I'm Polish. No, you're not.
Private, do you look into a goat's eyes? No, Sergeant. Good, because that would be unnatural.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Everything he says is so good. And going back to Mel Gibson's writing, like, he is so good at taking like actual moments and things you do in real life that just make you connect with people. And, you know, sometimes a lot of times in horror films, they have a hard time making connect with characters. And it's because, like, you relate to nobody, and because they're all idiots and morons, and they're like, drinking and sex.
Two-dimensional.
Yes. And you're like, I hope these characters die, like Ty said in Wrong Turn. And it's just, not them, but you're saying, like, you're glad that they weren't like that. But old horror movies, you know, when they first start, they just make fun of people. They're very mean.
Well, no, half the cast in Wrong Turn I did want them to
Okay,
die.
that's
No,
true.
That's absolutely half of them I did, but the other three-dimensional characters I wanted them to go on and live happy, full lives.
But like this one, they had that one soldier that was actually really mean to Andrew Garfield or Private Doss, and you're like, oh my gosh, like, you know, this turd, I hope he does die. But then when he's on the battlefield, like, sharing experiences, and you're starting to
He's an
connect with him,
orphan.
And right before he gets shot, you're like, oh my gosh, like, I actually love these people.
Yeah.
And
Jordan's the kid in the bookstore with the Trust Snape t-shirt when he went to go buy Harry Potter 7. Passing judgment. Someone already knew.
no,
I was like hating on that person so much. I was like, how
hated
could you?
Snape,
And I was like, how could
with
you?
a
Why are you wearing
passion.
that t-shirt? And they knew. They were like, double agent. I was like, nope, Snape broke my heart.
I know,
And
right?
he stopped Dumbledore's, so don't really care to give him a second chance. And then he watched the freaking memory or whatever that he gives. You're like,
Well, and one
I'm
of
not
many
crying,
moments,
you
I'll give an example of how Mel Gibson makes you relate to people is like the brother's like, give me a hug, and he's like covered with all that grease. Just moments like that, and he's like, oh, get away from me, and he runs off. There's so many moments throughout the film just like that you're like, oh my gosh, this is kind of stuff I do with my brothers or friends. Like, they're just like things that you actually connect with
Like
people.
hitting your
Hey,
brother
I
with
have
a
a brother.
brick. Hey, my brother tried to kill me a couple times.
yeah, Jordan's like, I tried to kill my brothers all the time. No, Jordan did relate to this movie.
I connect so well with this film.
Shoving dirty socks down their throats. I tried to kill them all the time.
Our dad tried to shoot our mom. Like, I connect so well with this movie. Just joking. He never tried to do that. Anyways, I just wanted to say, I don't know what I'm saying, but that's it.
And I leave these things with you.
I know. I was just about to end it like a testimony. Because we just watched like a super religious movie, so I'm so used to.
So let's get into
like to bear my
nitpicks.
testimony.
Like I said, I mentioned it earlier, but I'm like, okay, I won't pick up an arm like a rifle. I'm not willing to do it. And then at the very end, he just is willing to bicycle kick a grenade and also throw some guy on top of a grenade. So, or I guess that wasn't him, was it?
No,
It
it
was
wasn't.
somebody
No,
else
that was
did
the
or was it
other.
him?
That was sick. He like throws like.
Yeah, that was the other guy, right? Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
crazy.
But he still bicycle kicked that grenade. I guess it was in defense, but it's like, if he could catch a bullet, would he have caught the bullet and thrown it back at somebody? That's all I'm saying. I'm just trying to stay consistent here. He's like, I can't hold the rifle, but I can kick grenades.
You know what's
Does that
funny?
come in
So
handy
the
in
first
Battlefront?
the first time I watched it, one of my nitpicks was actually
fine.
his accent. But the like rewatching it, honestly, it doesn't bother me at all. Like I didn't even think twice about it. But I hated the giving blood scene. That's just nothing against the film. It's just I hate any needles.
Yeah, they
and-
showed the
Watching
blood
the
coming
needle
out.
actually puncture.
Yeah, and I was like, okay,
Yikes.
I know what happens when people give blood. I don't need to see it. I'm like, oh. And the artery is like, that little like squirt out of blood. I'm like,
Ever since I talked to you, my heart's been beating so fast.
yeah. He's like,
It's like, is that on account of the blood? Oh, yeah. Is it working? I don't know. He's trying to use a pickup line.
dude.
And then she's like, and he's like, oh, I guess I'll leave you alone. Then she goes, I didn't say stop. Or whatever she's like, I can't remember what she said.
Tyron through that video. Harder.
She was like, yeah, don't give up. Who is that girl? I feel like she's like the, what's her name? Kristen Stewart? Is that her name? She reminds me of Kristen Stewart from Twilight. She looks just like her. Is it Kristen Stewart?
She's from
Kristen.
Bedtime Stories. That's the only one I
Bedtime
know her
Stories.
from.
I remember her from Warm Bodies. I was like, that literally looks so much
She-
like.
They look so similar.
The
Bella
one
from-
the one
yeah,
thing
Kristen
that
Stewart.
is almost a nitpick, but then I'm like, I guess that's pretty realistic in real life. Is just like how all over the place she was. Like when she slapped him after the kiss, and then she was like still flirting with him. I'm like, what the fudge? I'm like, if this doesn't describe women, I don't know what does. Same with the like. That was a cheesy, weird pickup line, but I didn't tell you to stop.
Oh,
and
she was
it's
from
like,
Lights Out. That was the movie I was
What?
thinking of. Yeah, Teresa
Yeah,
Palmer.
yeah.
Yeah, Teresa Palmer. She's from Lights Out. That's what I remember her from. But that's not how all women react.
No, I'm just saying, just women are just such unpredictable and unstable human beings.
I can't imagine why you're still single, Cameron.
I stand by that to the day I die.
I gotta find a woman that has a bag of tricks and understands that I think all women are alike.
All women are irrational.
Yeah.
Can change their emotion at the flip of
Oh
a
my
switch.
gosh. No, dude, I'm all for feminism, dude. We need to start jailing more women so there's an equal amount of women in prisons as men. I'm serious. Very animate about feminism. I want equal
We
representation.
need equal representation in the jails.
Let's just start jailing women. I'll give them any excuse. I'll say they're acting crazy. I don't care. I'll throw them in
I
jail.
love the equality of how now men are winning in women's sports.
Oh boy. Yep.
Oh, our day and
Oh
age.
boy. Oh man.
But dude, Andrew Garfield's performance in this movie, dude, he should have been an Academy Award nominee at least.
At least. Very good. Well, any other nitpicks? I was gonna say I don't remember what Hugo Weaving's letter. Who was it from, and why was it why was it delivered to him and not somebody else? Like, how is it that the dad got it as an ex-military man, and the guy there didn't get the letter? Did he request the letter?
Yeah, I
can't
wonder
remember.
if in real life if that happened over time and maybe he was jailed for a little bit, or if
Probably didn't happen. Probably didn't happen the day that he said
Yeah,
in court, and he's
that's
like,
what I'm
"Oh,
saying.
I gotta get in, talk to my son."
But that-
he's like,
but
"Oh,
that's-
you're not allowed in here."
once again, that's just a way to make it more intense. I thought about that watching it this time. I'm just like, I don't know if this is exactly how it went about, but Mel Gibson
Called
is just
dramatic retelling.
Yes, yeah.
Took some liberties to make it more dramatic.
yes, yeah.
Like, dude, that year
But yeah,
for the,
Hugo
that,
Weaving
that
was
year's
chewing
for the
the scenery.
Oscars, it was like Leo for The Revenant and Matt Damon for The Martian and Michael Fassbender for Steve Jobs. I don't know, dude. I think Andrew Garfield did a better job than Matt Damon in The Martian. I mean, I love The Martian, but I think this is a better performance than The Martian.
Yeah.
I would recommend you watch the movie Martian again. That is a phenomenal film.
And you'll be like, this is best comedy.
First
I
thing that
wouldn't
comes
say
to
it's the
mind,
best
best
comedy.
comedy.
Mind you, if you want to see a reaction, look at what's his face that has received the award when he got up and he goes, "Best comedy." He almost seemed insulted, and I'm
Yeah.
like, dude, I'm with you, man. I don't
He
know why
was
it was
insulted. He was like, okay, thank you.
like, how about best
a
drama,
sci-fi
or
drama,
best sci-fi,
a sci-fi
or-
drama gets
yeah.
placed for
best picture,
comedy.
even. It's like, is this a joke?
Your
Am I
movie was a
to you?
joke.
Am I a joke to you?
It was funny. Matt Damon ate potatoes made of. It is funny. See, I told you it'd be funny.
And really quick, Ty, you said you're kind of nitpick when he kicked the grenade out of the air. So check this out. Ellen, is it DeGeneres? Who's
DeGeneres.
the
Yeah.
chick that does the... Yeah.
DeGeneres.
So she...
Degenerate.
Ellen DeGeneres.
She had Mel Gibson on her show, and she asked him, like, some of the stuff is, pretty unbelievable, and we know you take liberties, watching, Braveheart. And he's like, no. He's like, he really did get hit by, it was either shrapnel or something, and they were bringing him back on the stretcher. And Ty, he said, it doesn't end there. He's like, it was so unreal. Like, he's like, I just had to cut some of it out because, write it so people would believe this movie. Because, so as they're bringing him back on the stretcher, he jumps off, sees another soldier, throws him on, says, take him first. Like, it's just unreal.
No way.
Like, this man
That's
is
awesome.
just, wow.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
That's amazing, dude. What a freaking amazing guy.
And then he triple backflipped and dived down the grenade right off the side. And then kicked 4 grenades with his left foot. It's amazing. Just it's like FIFA, man. Just unstoppable. Like I said, I love it. And honestly, that is not to diminish. Desmond Doss, man, he's a hero. And I think it's a great story. So the nitpick, like I said, it always comes from the skepticism that I have from Mel Gibson taking liberties, like from
Yes.
the movie Patriot and other things. But like, again, his intention, he loves his country, and I'm like, that's pretty cool. Like, there's not too many people in Hollywood right now that actually
And
love
believes
this
in
country.
God. Like, goodness gracious, if everybody doesn't avoid talking about God in movies these days.
Yeah.
Wow.
Dude, can I do my favorite quotes? I have so many.
Yeah, we're gonna get into favorite quotes now, unless you guys had any other nitpicks.
No, it's
I think I'm
amazing.
pretty much, Except all those cars driving outside the movie theater. Isn't this like back in the 40s? Those cars were flying down the road. Almost got killed many times. Cars whizzing by. So
yeah.
anyway, that's just one thing I noticed. Like right after they get out of the movie, the cars was like, it's like almost like jump scare. But real quick, we should have given a plot synopsis real quick. World War II American Army medic Desmond T. Doss, who served during the Battle of Okinawa, refuses to kill people and becomes the first man in American history to receive the Medal of Honor without firing a shot. So just wanted to throw out that plot there. Cameron, favorite quotes?
Dude, also, I loved how they kind of did the similar thing with Saving Private Ryan of like, are you allowed to shoot someone if they surrender? Because then it was like, well, we don't know. Like, it's like, no, you need to be humane. It's like, well, they might be having a grenade and stuff like that. And same thing with Saving Private Ryan. He comes back later. Spoiler alert to kill Tom Hanks.
Well, and did you think that one soldier, he even dropped down 2 of the enemy, 2 Japs down.
She's still
Remember, he
here?
like lowered them down, and he's like, and they didn't survive. I just wondered, did they shoot them? Is that what we're to
I
believe?
actually don't know this, but is Japs an offensive term? Like, I'm so uncultured
Oh,
swine,
nice.
but I was just curious if I call them Japanese. Like,
Oh, sorry.
to Japs, we sound like Christopher Walken, too. I don't even know if it's appropriate to quote him when he talks about, he's like, oh, you know, we've been in concentration camp, and these two he uses the term, and maybe I'm going to get canceled. They want to cut me out saying that.
Yeah.
But, yeah, he says it, and it just made me
I know.
think
I
of
didn't know. I don't know what to call him. That's why I was like, just the enemy.
Two
but-
Japanese soldiers.
But, well,
Japs. There's the Japs.
I'm sorry. Well, and I was wondering too, because I didn't want to call them the enemy, because it's like, who is the enemy? And when it comes to war, it's all muddy.
Well, Jordan, this is Satan himself we are fighting. Dude, that was one of my favorite quotes.
Well,
This is
Ty,
Satan
did we have
himself,
this discussion really quick? I don't mean to get on this topic, but somebody was telling me other people, when they watch Star Wars from other countries, they see America as the empire. Is that crazy? I mean, it makes sense. You think about it.
Why not, dude? We're run by an evil, old, wrinkly man that has a butt for a head. I can't even believe it, dude. Absolutely.
Did you hear his speech, Ty? He's like, where am I? He actually said that in his last speech.
Did he? That's awesome. Dude, my favorite
That is
though, my favorite was the
ridiculous.
story where he I don't know who reported this, but he was like, he wakes up every morning and says, I can't believe we're in the White House. And it's like, that's because you forget every day. He wakes up, he's like, I can't believe I'm here. Or he said, he wakes up and he goes, where are we? Like, it seems unreal. And I'm like, yeah, it probably does. Every day where you're like, I can't believe I became the president. Not touting any fraudulent election.
It's like 51st Dates. He has to put in a
widespread voter fraud, but it didn't impact the election.
The
No, so it
VHS,
says
you
YouTube,
just
'cause
won
if I
the
say
election.
that, I'm going to get barred from YouTube for inciting
Ty,
violence or something.
every morning, it's like 51st Dates. He puts in the VHS tape and like has to remind himself like where he is.
You just bombed the Middle East,
51st
okay?
Dates, it's like the guy is senile. He can't even remember what he had for the early bird breakfast that morning, and then he's like, "Oh, I got 53 executive orders to do in the first week of an office." It's like, holy crap! Somebody's pulling the strings, and I don't think it's our little friend there. Joey.
Anyways, back to the movie.
So,
Sorry, Cameron. Well, let's go to quotes.
no more politics. It's hard to talk about a war movie without some politics involved.
I love the part where he's talking to his mom and he's as a kid and he's like, why does he hate us so much? And then she's like, he doesn't hate us, he hates himself. I was like, oh snap. And then
Cameron's like, that
Give me the
speaks to me.
yeah.
I relate.
I relate on someone
I'm
else.
someone that loves myself.
And then I also love when she's like, if you're that interested, I'll give you a book on it. And he's like, on Dayton? And she's like, no, on blood.
Yeah, that was great.
And then she's like, are you gonna marry me?
I thought it'd been really funny too. Yeah, I thought it'd been really funny if they did that almost a little bit more, where she would have been like he would have been like more interested in her medical, and then she would have been like trying to kiss him while they were studying, but he's like, oh, isn't this interesting? It's like, wait, we're interested in the medical than her. I thought that would have been really funny.
Yeah. When
That's just where my mind goes though.
when he's using you for your medical knowledge. And then
He's like, oh, that's great.
okay, yeah, we can stop kissing. Can you teach me more about this is science? And I love when she's like, are you gonna marry me or what? He's like, you're still gonna have me? And then she's like, well, I haven't decided yet because you haven't asked me. So I'm like,
I
what?
love her. Oh my gosh, she's awesome.
I loved it when Jordan, who's your boy? What's his name?
Vince Vaughn.
Vince Vaughn. When the naked guy's crawling through, he's like, I bet you're enjoying this, you naked degenerate. Just naked guys crawling through the mud. Dude, I felt so bad for him. And then the great quote that Grant kind of mentioned is like when he's saying like, with so much of the world set on tearing itself apart, doesn't seem so bad that I want to put a little bit of it back together. And then I love the part where he has like the relation or like the bromance with the orphan man, and he's like, that's one heck of a dame. He's like, you know, you're fighting out of your weight class with her. He's like, I know, just don't tell her that. And then she's like, she deserves, or he's like, otherwise she'd get stuck with a real man like me. He's like, yeah, until she got to know you. I just love kind of their banter, like back and forth of just like messing with each other. And then I love the part when he's like in the battlefield and he's like, I don't understand, like I can't hear you, like talking to God. And then right after that, he hears like a soldier.
Yes, the guy
crying
screams. Oh my gosh.
And then he's like, that's you talking to me. I thought that was really cool.
That
and then
part
it was like,
got
that
to
helped
me.
get one more. That's really cool. Because I just feel like it's like, trying to convey like stay true to what you believe even when it's hard, because like it's just he was like in the most difficult situation and is just like not gonna give up.
I know you said you were a little upset that his wife like kind of was doubting him. I love that part because I feel like so many times when you're like trying to figure things out and understand what God's will is, it's like I think it's so powerful that he's like sitting there and he's the only one, like everyone is essentially not on his side. Like, even his friends, families, lover. It's just I guess they weren't married yet, right? Because he missed the wedding. So it's his fiance. So I mean, even when she's telling him, like everyone is telling him. And so it's like I just think it's so fascinating. It's like, oh, is this just my pride? Like, oh my gosh, that got to me. It was powerful. So,
But man, she's loyal af. She's like, even after he missed the wedding, she's like, I know it wasn't your doing. I'm like, ain't no normal chick saying that.
yeah.
I know.
Not the girls I've
Well,
met.
if you
They
were
are not forgiving.
imprisoned and jailed, I don't know. Maybe you would be. I don't know.
I guess, yeah.
I've tried to be there. I'm just a ward of the state right now. Sorry. Not my fault.
Yeah, that's a pretty good excuse.
Any other quotes that you guys had?
No.
Let's get into, would you recommend this movie?
Oh,
Start with you,
absolutely.
Cameron.
Oh yeah, if you like Saving Private Ryan, you'll love this. It's just amazing overall message. Like I mentioned, it's got romance, bromance, action, war, and it talks about God. And just an amazing message.
So you've seen Saving Private Ryan, Cameron, but Grant hasn't,
I
right?
have
Yes.
not yet. No.
Yeah, definitely recommend that one, Grant. It's a good one.
Yeah.
How about you, Jordan?
Yeah, I recommend it. Obviously, if violence is not your thing, I do not recommend it because it's very,
If
very,
violence
very
isn't your thing, watch the first hour and 14 minutes. I timestamped it. Before an hour and 14 minutes, there's like nothing too bad, but holy cow, once you hit that hour 14 mark,
I don't know. That guy under the car, his legs spurts
Oh,
blood.
yeah.
It's pretty horrifying.
yeah. But still, that's not too
Which
bad.
I've
They
never
waited
seen
the
some
artery.
guy with a car on top of him that had that kind of injury. But then again, I'm not from the 40s, so I don't know what happened. So just saying, he was like under a tin car, and it like ripped his leg a new one, just spurting blood. I was like, what the freak happened?
Man's definitely got AIDS now. He's got freaking
Changing the oil. Don't you hate it when that
Tetanus.
happens? When your arteries split
Tetanus.
open?
yeah, 100%
Oh my gosh.
tetanus, bro.
Tetanus.
Yeah,
Yeah, dude.
Oh, that was the other thing I forgot to bring up in Wrong Turn was when the kid got hit and the girl's like, "Oh, you'll be fine." I'm like, "Pfft, he probably got tetanus from that piece of rusty nail.
dude.
Oh yeah,
I forgot to mention that.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rusty nail. I don't remember that.
Remember
scene.
He got hit by one of the
trap?
traps.
Swings
The trap
at him.
swings and hits
Oh,
his
the
shoulder.
trap hits
Yeah.
it. That's right.
100% tetanus, bro. Better be taking them
Yeah,
shots.
he would have died.
All right, so we always end each podcast by going around. Oh, and I would recommend this movie. I think it's a good one. Let's go around and say what movies that we've seen lately and movies that we're looking forward to seeing. Grant, why don't you hit us off first?
I have watched.
Tell them all the masterpieces I've been showing you.
Dude, Grant, tell him what you just watched last night, dude, what you told me.
I know.
I know.
I was the one that recommended one of the two, and not
Okay.
the other.
I'll
Wacko
get there.
Mandy.
Okay, hold on. Okay, so I rewatched She's the Man with our roommates. That was really fun. Watched
fun.
Hamilton. Wasn't great. It was okay. Watched The Platform again. That was really good.
Oh my
Let's get watch
gosh.
it again.
Oh, okay, you know what Alex said really quick? Alex said, okay, guys, hear me out. Alex said she liked Cube 2 Hypercube more than The Platform. Oh, get wrecked, Nuggets.
Alex is
It
also
just goes to
mentally
show that Alex has
challenged.
no sense in taste of movies. So,
dude.
She's special
Yeah, it
needs,
was that.
dude.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but there's cannibalism in Cube 2 Hypercube. She's like, yeah, but it was funny. And I'm like, okay.
What the fuck? Yeah, that our sister doesn't make any sense.
What should you think about that couple interlocked, floating in the room?
Yeah.
Perpetual and whatever you want to call that, dude.
Anyways, Grant, keep going. Sorry.
Mummified.
Okay, and then I watched 500 Days of Summer. That was a really, really good movie. I loved the part where
yeah.
like he's on his high and like it's playing the music around them. It's like everyone's dancing. I
Hall
love
and
that
Oates,
scene.
dude, walking through. You make my
Yeah.
dreams come true.
Yeah,
I love
Best
the whole
quote of
city
all
singing along
time.
with him, and then the next scene
Yeah.
after the breakup, and he gets out of the elevator, and he's like,
No, the best quote of all time though is freaking when he talks about he's talking about his girlfriend and she's like, she's better than the girl of my dreams because she's real. son.
I do remember hearing a video essay about this, and they're like, well, Joseph Gordon-Levitt is the most clueless person on earth.
Yeah. Yeah.
I even like
I've
the
seen so many
opening
videos
shot,
that talk
though,
about
and they're
how
like,
it's like so creepy.
I like this part where he goes, this is not a love story. It's a story about love. And you're like, you literally spoiled the ending right there. If you're paying attention, because you think what you're seeing, but you're duped into thinking it just like Joseph Gordon-Levitt was. Their hand is over each other. She's got a gorgeous big ring, and you're like, oh, look at them. They're going to end up married. That's where this ends. And then at the end of the movie, won't spoil it.
Dude, what a terrible
It's
human
super
being
good,
to
though.
freaking go back and still talk to your ex after you're already married, dude.
You already know that marriage
Or-
is not going to work out.
Oh, well, does she, like, do anything? I guess just
No,
give
puts
it.
her
But it's
hand
like,
on-
she's so
She
uncommittal, dude.
You guys
not-
are like, what a slut.
Dude, I hate her.
Burn the
I
wench.
may relate to Joseph Gordon-Levitt a little too much in that movie.
This woman was caught in adultery.
What's
Cameron's
By the
standing
law,
there,
he
like,
needs to be
just licking his
stoned.
lips with the stones.
Yeah,
I have a
Joseph Gordon-Levitt
ginormous
is just as much to
stone.
blame.
Cameron'd be out in that crowd stoning people. He'd be like, oh, yeah.
I like the artistic liberties. Like, one of my favorite scenes is when his alarm clock keeps going off and he, like, goes and buys all the Twinkies from the store. I think that's so funny.
And then they're walking down the street, and this couple's holding hands. Get a room.
Roses are red, violets are you. Roses are red, violets are blue.
You whore.
Fudge you, whore.
So I just remember
oh.
talking about all the, stoning people. I'm remembering, is it Life of Brian? The one where they make, it's the Monty Python people make fun of the Christ. I mean, the story, not fun of the story of Christ, but they make a satire or whatever. Anyways, all the...
Which is another way of poking fun at the story of
that
Christ.
sounds horrible. Anyways, but the part where all the people are going to go stone the whore, and all the people in the crowd are all women wearing beards.
That's really funny.
Are there any women here? Yeah, that's great.
That's funny.
All right.
Well, I have a ton of movies
Any more,
that I've
Grant?
seen. Yeah.
Oh my
so
God.
Yeah, keep going.
Crank
another
them out.
Andrew Garfield. I watched Social Network. Jesse Eisenberg is so good in that.
Did you like that one?
Crap.
Oh my
I
gosh.
love
amazing.
that
he
movie,
did.
dude.
Better have.
Isn't that a
So
great... It
good.
plays like a
So
noir.
good.
I love that movie.
Yeah. Then I watched Good Will Hunting. That is such an amazing movie. Such a great message. Robin Williams is so good in that movie.
All I remember is that she farts in her sleep. That's it.
Woke the
Yeah.
I
dog
love
up.
that part.
And then I watched
love
Burn
that
After
scene.
Reading. Super funny. Brad Pitt. One of his best performances
Yes.
ever, dude. It's so
It
funny.
is Brad Pitt's best performance.
Second
honestly.
best. You can't beat freaking Lieutenant Aldo Rain, dude. Come on. Oh,
Have you
bad,
seen
dude.
Fight Club, Cameron?
Yes.
I actually think Fight Club might be one of his best, too.
I would say it's his like third best.
I don't think we finished that one. Did you finish it later, Cameron?
No, I still need to finish it. I know the whole twist or whatever, but I need to rewatch it because I didn't watch like the last
Yeah.
25 minutes or whatever because it was long.
Yeah. Well, I think you'll appreciate it now more, but maybe.
Yeah.
Then
we
I
start- we
watched-
should
It was long.
We started at like freaking 1 in the morning. But continue, Grant.
Yeah. Then we watched Django Unchained. That's such a good movie.
Yeah.
Have you seen it before, Grant?
It's a Big Daddy's house because it's big.
Say
Jordan-
say bye.
Jordan
to
had shown me
Miss
scenes
LaFonda.
Do you want me to treat him like white folk? No. That's not what I said. Still the best line of the movie.
No.
I love it. He's like, say bye to Miss
Yeah,
Brown.
it's so
bye, Miss
cool.
Brown.
Bye. Yeah, that's so funny. And then I watched War Dogs. That's a pretty funny movie.
I count 6 bullets. I count 2 guns.
Then we watched Die Hard with a Vengeance. That was pretty good.
Oh my gosh.
and then-
When he's walking in the streets with the sign that I hate the
Are you
N-word
trying
on
to
it.
get? Are you trying to get killed?
He's like, oh, there's a white man
Call the
outside. He's
police.
like,
A white man's about to get killed.
I love it when he's like, "Who don't we want Who don't we want to help us? White people." That's right. He like gives him a high five.
You don't like me
it's
because
so
you're
funny.
racist. I love Bruce Willis telling Samuel Jackson that. That's amazing.
Yeah, then watched Wrong
No, I
Turn.
don't like it 'cause it
and
could get me
then-
killed.
Then I watched Whiplash last night, and that movie, I have never been like more stressed in a movie like the whole time. Like you're just like,
Was I
don't make a
rushing
mistake.
or was I dragging?
Was I rough?
1, 2, 3, boom. 1, 2, 3, boom. Was I rushing or dragging? Dragging. So you do know the difference.
Dude, oh, that is such a good performance by the two of them. So
Dude, at the
good,
end, what does he tell him? He goes, "You're finished." What does he say? He's like, "You're done. I've ended." What does he say to him? Remember, what does he say in the performance when he gets him to play the different song and he just like ends him in front of all those people? Doesn't he say something? I can't remember what he says to him.
I think he says you're done.
Yeah, he goes, "You're done," or
Yeah.
whatever. And then he starts playing at the end. So freaking intense, dude.
That's so good.
And just like his hands are bleeding, I'm like, oh my gosh, this poor kid.
Starts punching the drum set.
If there's anything I've learned,
Never let a movie about a jazz musician be happy.
If anything, yeah, I learned
so
from that
sad,
movie.
though,
it's
'cause, like-
it's pursue your passions and don't. Who cares about romance? He just blows her off.
I know, dude. Like he completely gives up like his relationship with his girlfriend for like, you know, this passion of his, and then like 3/4 of the way through the movie, you're like, oh dang, like he just gave it up for nothing, you know, like you've literally lost everything. But then he just like comes back at the end. It's really cool. But then last thing I watched was Mandy. I watched that at 5:00 in the morning. Oh my gosh, dude.
Please.
Dude, this movie.
Jesus, hippie
Jesus
weirdos.
freaks.
Jesus freaks.
Like this movie, you question if you're like tripping on LSD, like watching this movie. You're like, what is happening to me like right now? It is such a wild movie. Definitely recommend it on VidAngel. But it's such an amazing performance by Nick Cage. He's just so funny. And it's just like hilariously like crazy, but like all the fights they do, like they have a chainsaw fight and just like he has a super bad A like axe. Oh, it's so freaking awesome. It's such a
Dude,
good
and
movie.
I know you would probably love those visuals. Oh my gosh, if they're not
Yes,
the coolest.
it's visually amazing. Like the red theme throughout the whole thing, it's just very, very, very good.
What is meant by the ending, Grant? I have no idea what to make of all the planets.
But when he
in the
turns over,
sky.
oh yeah, and when he turns over to his wife, like sees her in the passenger seat, he's like,
Smile.
his face,
God,
dude.
pretty scary.
Bright
Oh,
white
so
white
funny.
teeth.
Dude, I'm honestly starting to love Nicolas Cage more. Like I used to hate him because like I only knew him
Right?
from like, you know, like not Treasure Planet, National
Cameron,
Treasure.
once you watch Mandy,
National
dude.
Treasure.
It's so he's like
Dude, I watched.
It's hard to believe that
Honestly,
National
so
Treasure
funny.
is his most reserved movie.
I
know,
watched.
right?
Dude, no, Jordan. I watched Raising Arizona, and I don't know, dude, what it is about him. He's just too much. For
Well, that's a
me.
Coen brother. That's a Coen brothers movie. All their movies, the actors just kind of goofy and quirky and weird.
I would definitely recommend if you guys like this Nick Cage binge you're on.
Color Out of
definitely
Space?
watch it. What's that?
But you're gonna say Color Out of Space, weren't you?
Yeah, well, yeah. If you guys liked Mandy, Color Out of Space is another great one. Right in that colorful movie, terrifying, and Nick Cage does all out. He does all that. And just look up the best YouTube of Vampire's Kiss. Don't really watch the whole movie, but
Yeah.
just watch YouTube Vampire's Kiss. Nick Cage moments, so funny.
Or just
Or
the video.
Or that YouTube,
Yeah.
Nick Cage losing his shiz.
Yep.
It's the best
I
video
showed Grant
compilation of all his...
Grant those scenes where he's on the bed and he's like, "Yeah, do I look like an ever man?" And then it's like on the bed.
effing Hagers! Yeah, so great.
And he's got that creepy mustache and the hairpiece. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
it's pretty crazy. Yeah, Nick Cage is a national treasure. That's the one thing they didn't get to. Like, the movie called National Treasure is
It
literally
is Nick
Nick
Cage.
Cage is our national treasure.
It's a plot twist.
Did anyone ever catch that? Like, he is the national treasure. Like, that's... If you want to know about the Dalmuti Eye or whatever, the great... Or what is it called?
Illuminati.
What's it called?
Illuminati.
Illuminati. I called it the
Dalmuti.
Dalmuti card game. No, if you want to know, you know, the eye, dude.
Illuminati eyes,
It's Nick
Nick's
Cage,
eyes.
man. It's the Illuminati. They're letting us know Nick Cage is sent here to save us, dude. He's the answer. He's the key.
Dude, we need to do like a Nick Cage month and just do like all his movies.
Absolutely
my
not.
goodness.
Gosh. Yeah. Oh, the other movie though, Color Out of Space. I was thinking of another great one. Is Face Off is a great one with Nick
So
Cage.
funny.
He's so over the top. It's so funny. What was so great about it is the first day of filming, John Travolta and Nick Cage got there, and like John Travolta was like, okay, so he's gonna be playing a certain thing, and then the first day Nick Cage just goes absolutely wild, and John Travolta's like, oh, we're gonna be acting like that, are we? Like, that's literally what he said. And so they try to overtop each other and they try to outperform each other, and it is so delightful. Watch Face Off. It is such a great 90s action flick.
We'll do
I
that
forgot
all
he was
time.
in Next as
For
well.
Bad Movie Night.
Which one?
Next. You can see 2 minutes in the future.
Yeah, that movie is pretty forgettable.
Best movie I've seen of his.
Best Nick Cage movie is Next.
I said that I've seen of his, you monkey. Open your ears.
Yeah.
Have you not seen any of these movies we've been talking about, Ken?
He hasn't seen Mandy. He hasn't seen Adaptation. Dude,
Oh
there's
my
so
gosh, I
many
thought you
good-
watched it with Grant.
No,
So
I
Grant
watched
was
it
the only one that
alone.
watched it. That's so funny. Oh, dude, but
I'm
Raising
not-
Arizona is way better than...
Yeah, I'm not a Nick Cage fan.
Dude,
Well, you haven't
he's-
seen any of his movies,
He's Spider-Man
so you don't know what you're
Noir
talking
in Into the Spider-Verse, dude.
I'm
He's
aware.
So funny. He's the black and white one.
I know which one he is, Grant.
Oh, he said I'm aware.
you
Oh, he
didn't
said I'm
know what
aware.
Noir
I thought he
was.
said which one or something. Sorry.
Okay,
He's
Grant-
the one
He's
that
the
was
noir- like
back
the
in the
black
World War
and-
times.
Grant,
World
did-
War II times.
Did you finish your list, Grant? Holy crap.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've been
About
up
that.
forever, man.
That was it. That was it.
I gotta go to bed. I'm tired.
Yeah, holy crap.
I saw Drive, and oh my gosh, dude, I
Ryan
cannot wait to
Gosling.
do that on the podcast. The movie's amazing. I love seeing it with Cameron for Cameron's first viewing, because afterwards he turned to me and he's like, I think he is a psychopath.
Dude, anyone that performs too well in a movie as a serial killer, like that's like Jake, dude. I'm just like, Jake has to be unhinged in his brain. Like, there's no way that he's actually like a normal person. Like, no one can just do Donnie Darko so casually.
And then I saw Neil Breen's newest movie, Twisted Pair, and I was sending all you guys clips. And
Okay, my favorite was that board member meeting where they're like, we're on the brink of hacking minds. And then the guy was just like,
The black guy's like,
that
what
guy's
the
reaction.
his reaction.
That big guy, that was the best reaction. Just turns and just like, best reaction.
When I saw that, I laughed so hard. I'm like, I have to send you guys this clip. And then Ty, that scene where he's like tackling her and he's like, you're supposed to meet me? Like, it goes on for like what feels like an eternity. It's the most uncomfortable scene I've ever seen in my life. Like, it was creepy.
And then the fake where he like slapped her and she turned away and didn't actually get slapped. It was just like, oh my gosh.
Or how about all that green screen? Come on, guys, I can.
Well, and he was talking and his mouth wasn't moving. It was
Yes.
like dubbed over. And
Dubbed
I was
it
like,
over.
What? Is he
And-
talking to him then?
Okay, they
Through his
also missed.
mind?
They
What's
also
going
missed
on?
one of the audio cues when he slaps her. They missed like the.
Yeah, that's what Ty was saying.
Well, and she didn't even get hit. Like, obviously.
No, he was talking about with the soldiers.
Well, I was talking about both, Cameron. You missed it. Could you stay involved, man, or don't be involved at all?
That movie was hilarious. I laughed so hard. I showed you guys all the funniest parts. I was debating if we should do it on the pod, but I'm like, it's another torture movie.
You'll run the risk of us not watching it and pretending that we did.
Ty's like, oh yeah, that part too, you know?
Yeah. You know the other part that I saw on YouTube?
yeah, Dave made a maze.
Dave Minute. Dude, no, I did watch most of it. I just fell asleep
Most
and
of
didn't
it.
finish it. And all the things that Ron... But you have to understand the thing about my friend Ron. He quotes movies, but he doesn't change his intonation. Like, at least we give each other hints, like when we quote movies. Like, he'll just be like, oh, you know, like, do you look into a goat's eyes? Yeah, it's not natural. It's like if I just said it, you'd be like, yeah, I guess that's the quote, but it's like, you got to
love
give me some
Ron.
hint or do an impression or something.
I love
Anyway.
Ron so much.
And usually there were questions in the movie that he would throw out.
I know,
not
he
like
would ask
famous
you
quotes.
questions.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
like, Ty,
Uh,
did you study? Oh, okay.
Steady.
You're like, oh, clearly you didn't watch the
It's
movie.
like-
You're like, wait, what?
I know, and I was like, oh, what are you talking about? I just was so confused.
That was funny.
I was genuinely flustered.
Well, and he was throwing you off because he was hosting. And you weren't ready for that. The other thing that I watched was Chucky. I was also sending clips to Ty with the little Chucky doll flipping off the girl. That hilarious.
You guys are
So
so
funny.
weird about Chucky.
Dude, he's funny. Very funny. I watched them. I was enjoying every minute of it. I rewatched Blade Runner 2049 again, I think like twice. Or actually, I watched it twice this week because it is the most amazing movie ever.
You think it's better than the first one?
It gets better every time you watch it. No, I still love, it's kind of, the first one's personal to me, but because I grew up watching Indiana Jones, so Harrison Ford's like my hero. The new one's amazing.
Dude, you're just on the
it's a
Ryan
masterpiece.
Gosling train. Might
So
as
it's
well
not
watch
even in
La
your
La
top
Land.
10 list, so how amazing can it really be?
Yeah, for real.
Just saying, you know.
Yeah, so I just been watching masterpieces.
And I feel bad because I should watch Prisoners again to see if it holds up. My worry is because it's noir and I still remember the twist, I won't enjoy it as much. But
No,
I wonder if
it's
that
better.
recency bias, if it would have made my top
Better,
10.
Ty.
but-
I actually didn't like Prisoners the first time I watched it. I thought it was boring. And now I think it's the greatest film of all time.
Thought it was boring.
I'm definitely a little more intelligent.
What part bored you,
when it comes
Jordan?
to
The part
movie
where he's
choices.
burning the guy alive in the shower?
Yeah, I saw the way you looked at me when I was reading, or the tone in your voice when I said Dawn of the Dead is my second favorite movie of all time. And I watched that with my roommate, and you guys keep making me doubt myself, and I'm like, screw you guys, it's my favorite. I'm a zombie freak. It's the best zombie movie out there.
Yeah, but 28 Days Later is a better
No,
film.
Dawn of the Dead is
in
better
every
than
aspect.
28 Days Later. This is coming from
No, okay,
probably
yes,
the most
yes,
objective
you're
person
right.
ever. I hate both. I
Ty-
hate zombie movies. I
No.
think they're so dumb. But
No. So I
28
love them.
Days Later is much better.
No, okay, I agree with you, Ty. It's a better film. However, I like Dawn of the Dead better. Thank you.
No, I know. And you know what? And like I said, that's awesome. But I am curious, Cameron, why you think that
I think Dawn of the
is a
Dead's
better
more
movie?
enjoyable. Like I think cinematically and like from a film perspective, yeah, probably 28 Days Later might.
Because
might
that's
beat it
Zack
out.
Snyder. Zack Snyder.
But like I was laughing the entire time during Dawn of the Dead. Like the characters in it, dude, it made me feel like I was in a Coen Brothers movie. I was like,
That's
this
that's
is
all thanks to
hilarious.
James Gunn, dude. James
Yeah, it was
Gunn,
so good.
veteran
Versus
writer
28 Days
of
Later,
Guardians of
dude,
the Galaxy.
The fetching part when he's just squeezing the guy's eyes. I'm just like, this is Jordan's movie. Oh my gosh, this is Jordan's calling
I
card.
still like it. No, the 28 Days Later, dude, shooting at 3 a.m. to get those shots that they got in London, a completely deserted city.
That was
Unbelievable,
unbelievable.
dude.
No, it's a masterpiece. All right, Ty, what you wanted to hear with movies?
So movies that I've seen lately. So after we watched Wrong Turn, I finally finished A Taxi Driver, which is not Taxi Driver, but
Is
it's
it good?
a
Is it
really
good?
good movie. Yeah, it's got the star from, I've mentioned it before. I can't remember his name. I wrote it down, but I can't find it right now.
Yeah, from Parasite.
Yeah, from Parasite. Yeah, it's the dad in Parasite, the
It's also
poor
in
class
like
family
all
dad.
of Bong Joon-ho's movies.
Yes,
Yeah,
every Bong
he's a
Joon-ho
phenomenal
movie ever.
actor. He's
Memories of Murder, The Host.
And all I put is like a jab at current day journalism. I just said when journalism was a noble profession. But that's a dumb political jab. So I watched another great movie with Riz Ahmed, who was in Venom. But I watched the movie called Sound of Metal. It was an Amazon movie.
Oh, I
Riz
saw an
Ahmed
image
is
for
like a
that.
metal drummer and for a metal band, and he loses his hearing. It's a really intense film. It's really great.
Oh
I
my
just
gosh.
can't imagine how isolating being deaf must be, but it's a great movie.
I saw a little documentary Apple put out by that same guy. Like I've seen his.
Yeah, Riz Ahmed is a great actor. I'm excited to see him go on to do other things because, again, he was one of the most laughable moments in Venom, where he's just
Incredible.
sending drones blowing up all over the street. He's just like, that's incredible. He was so good. I need to watch Venom again. I can't believe they're making a sequel with Woody Harrelson as Carnage. That's one of the things I'm looking forward to seeing, by the way.
Who's Woody
Woody
Harrelson?
Harrelson is Carnage. He's the crazy, kooky guy from Zombieland. He's the redneck guy.
Oh,
Nut up or
no
shut
way.
up.
He's going to be Carnage?
Oh.
Yeah, he's going to be Carnage, dude.
He'd be great.
It's amazing. That was so great.
That'd be super fun.
So after I watched Sound of Metal, I started I'm Your Woman, which is another Amazon movie. It's like, it's a really good slow drama meets thriller kind of thing. Like, this girl has a husband that's clearly involved in some shady dealings, and then the guy like shows up at his house and goes, "You need to pack, you need to leave," and she has to like disappear. It's really good. So that's a good one I like. Kind of reminds me of that movie I mentioned earlier,
Heat?
Vigilante. From
Vigilante.
slow down. You liked it. You said you liked it.
I said I had a lot of nitpicks and questions.
I don't remember you saying that, but
Well,
interesting.
because I wanted to mention it on the podcast and talk to you about them, but I can't remember what they are, so I'd have to rewatch it, but I won't do it.
Vigilante's good.
It's okay.
And then Hacksaw Ridge. Oh, and then I watched part of Band Camp. I think it's called Band Camp. That has what's her name? She's a musician. What's her name? She says that "I'm Sorry, I'm Not Sorry" song. Demi Lovato. Couldn't think of her name. And the Jonas Brothers. It was really fun to just see young Nick Jonas and his brother. Holy crap, that kid what an attractive man. Just gonna say it. Not gay or no homo, but
No, not gay.
I'd grab that face, give him a little sweet smooch. Okay.
What the
so,
fuck? No homo. Just went
And then I
away real
watched.
quick.
And then I watched. Yeah.
Ty,
no
I'm
homo,
curious.
but I
What
totally.
did you give? What did you give Hacksaw, star wise?
What did I give?
Hacksaw.
Wait, what did I give Hacksaw? What do you mean? Sorry.
Your rating?
A rating.
Like out of what? 10 or?
Yeah, the IMDb.
Out of
you said-
I don't rate
36
movies.
times.
Well, you said stars, so
I don't
give you
rate
stars.
movies, but if I did, I'd probably give it anywhere between like a 7 or 8, maybe.
What?
It's a good movie.
I think that's what I give it too.
Dude, that's a 9 or a 10, dude.
I
I
bumped
would
it up.
say Lone Survivor is a 9 and Saving Private Ryan is 10. So
You think
can
Lone
kinda gauge.
Survivor's
American
better
Sniper's
than
a 9.
Hacksaw? No.
Yeah, I think I like. And again, that's just me. Like
you and Mark, huh? Go way back.
yeah, me and Marky Mark, dude.
Marky
No,
Mark.
I'm an
ma'am, we're
inventor.
not.
That's what I do. I'm an inventor. I invent things. I love Marky Mark, dude. I want to do an impression.
Did you know
of
he
Mark
used to be
Wahlberg
part of
for
a
the rest of the
band,
podcast.
dude? It's called
Yeah,
his
dude, the
band-
Good Vibrations song.
Yeah,
Marky
Mark and the
dude.
Funky Bunch.
And the Funky Bunch.
Wait, really quick, Ty. You just reminded me while you're talking. I watched one more film. It's a guy at work. He's been begging me to watch it. He's like, if you like Heat, you need to see it. And it was The Last of the Mohicans. Yes, the first hour is slow, very slow. But oh my gosh, is it not worth the wait? The ending is amazing, dude. I just bawled my eyes out, dude. I'm a
my
Michael.
gosh.
I'm a Michael Mann fan until the end. I love all his movies.
I'm looking forward to seeing the new Mission Impossible movie that got announced. Tom Cruise riding a bicycle off of a jump somewhere and then deploying a parachute. I'm like, yeah, I'll go see that. Sounds fun. Like, I don't know
Solid
why,
B-film.
storyboard speaking, that you would ride a motorcycle off of a ramp and then deploy a parachute down the road. Hey, it's funny to me a little bit, but it's like, yeah, I'll definitely go see it. I don't care that he, yelled at his employees for masking and everything. I'm all for it. Mask up, you bigot. Trust the science, man.
Cameron.
Does anyone else have any other movies? Yeah, Cameron, do you have any other movies that you've seen or movies that you're looking forward to seeing?
Yes. So I also watched Social Network.
Just don't go through all the same movies that Grant just did.
I watched The Dictator. I mean,
Which one?
there was the first one. There was funny moments.
No, The Dictator or Dictator?
The Dictator.
The one with Sacha Baron Cohen?
Yes.
Borat?
With Borat.
Or that
Yeah.
guy.
There was funny moments, but holy cow, that movie's inappropriate as fuck.
Yeah, I just like when he has the severed head and he's like screaming in the shower. That's pretty funny.
Wait, I'm sorry. You didn't expect the Sacha Baron Cohen movie to be irreverent or inappropriate?
I wasn't the one to put it on. It was my-
I'm offended.
No, I just thought it was stupid. And then
It is stupid.
I watched Airplane, one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my entire life. Oh my gosh.
Airplane is hilarious. What are you talking about, dude?
Dumbest shits I've ever seen in my life.
Dude,
You
I'm
ever
sorry,
seen a
but
full
it will
man?
never not make
You
me
ever,
laugh.
you ever
Yes,
seen
when
a
he goes,
grown
do
man?
you like?
Have you ever seen the inside of a Soviet prison or whatever? I was like, what the
You ever seen the inside of a cockpit before? He's like, I've never been inside a plane before. You ever seen a grown man? It's the funniest thing. It will never not make me laugh. And then the scene where they're like, oh, you need to snap out of it, and they're shaking that
slapping
woman
her.
and slapping her, and then like he gets like, oh, you're gonna need it up at the front of the plane, so he goes up, and then the next person in line's like, here, I'll take care of it. She starts
Yeah.
shaking her and slaps it, and then there's this whole line, like there's a boxer, there's a guy with brass knuckles. It's so funny.
It's so funny.
I don't know.
I love it.
What's it called? I think if I would have watched it as a kid, I would have thought it was the funniest
It's a silly
movie I've ever
movie.
seen.
Well, or just watch it with a group. If you watch it alone, it's not funny.
I
for
watched
sure.
it with an entire group, and everyone else.
Well, it's the worst when nobody's laughing. That's
no,
when
no,
it's awkward.
everyone
Like I
was-
watched.
Like Jordan tried to show us Idiocracy. That didn't turn out so good.
Yeah.
I'll be
love
honest.
that
I
movie.
like the concept, but it's almost like this would have been a better 20-minute movie. That's all.
Yeah. That's because he makes TV shows. So.
And then also I watched Django Unchained as well. And then what I'm looking forward to is I've heard really good things from two of my good friends, from Justin, who was on the pod, and also Adam. They both really recommended The Little Things with Denzel. And
Oh my gosh! Yes,
What's his
dude.
name?
Jared Leto's
Jared Leto.
performance,
I'm really excited to watch
amazing.
that.
Ty, I want to do that movie so bad with you.
I don't
I
watch
love it. I'll see everything that Jared Leto's
Did you know
in.
that he doesn't watch his own movies?
Dude, so he says. Yeah. Love it. Gosh dang it. The actor of a generation right there, folks. I will say that his 30 Seconds to Mars band, completely fine. All of his acting movies, completely fine. We're supposed to treat this guy like he's like, I don't know, God's gift to the world. Sorry, he is not the national treasure. That slot has been awarded to Nick Cage. Okay? Like, if I had a choice between Jared Leto and Nick Cage in a movie, I would choose Nick Cage 100
I would
times
choose
over
neither. I would go
Jared
with
Leto.
Jake Gyllenhaal every time.
Cameron, all right. So we're going to end this podcast now. Thanks
Dude,
for
they
tuning
need to
in
have
to
a movie
Futro
with
Hidden
Jake
Movie Gems.
Gyllenhaal and Margot Robbie. Oh my gosh, meow.
Two of my...
My wives.
Make Jake Gyllenhaal your wife, huh? All right, so we're going to end this podcast now because it's already getting so weird. Thanks for tuning in. Leave us a review, 5 stars, and write us an email asking us questions. What are your top 10 favorite movies? What did you like about Hacksaw Ridge? Do you have other war films that you like? What is your favorite
Check us out
color?
on Spotify as well.
Check us out on all the places where you get podcasts. And this is Futro Hidden Movie Gems signing out. Peace.
Bye.
FutroHiddenMovieGems@gmail.com. I don't know if I mentioned that. Bye.
Yep.